The Canon 50V, PV, R50V, or RV. The one that's supposed to go up against the Sony ZV E10. Will Canon's new camera overshadow or leapfrog the ZV E10, becoming the market leader? We'll look at the answer to these questions in this video. But first, I have a simple and yet humble request. Please subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe to this channel. It helps this channel grow, and it keeps you informed on the latest camera gear, such as the EOS RV. The name of Canon's new vlogging camera, affordable vlogging camera, is the EOS RV. Nope, not that kind of RV. And this will be Canon's newest vlogging camera with some new design considerations. And this image has been validated, but once again it's one of those low-resolution grainy photos. But I want to draw your attention to the bottom right. If there was any doubt that this was being designed for vloggers, well, that front record button should remove any doubts. And thanks to Andrea Pizzini for leaking this photo. And that hot shoe at the top, well, that's likely Canon's new digital hot shoe, allowing accessories like Canon's mic. I'm glad to see they didn't do away with it. And of course it wouldn't be a vlogging camera without an articulating screen. And of course it's got the mode dial and the top dial button. So why the radical departure from cameras like the R100 and the R50? The market that the EOS RV would likely be competing in. And that leads us to the price. Well, what could it be? Could it be anywhere from around $649 for the EOS R50 all the way up to $999? It's really important to kind of focus on this point for a minute, that the EOS RV is designed as a vlogging camera. It's designed to go up against the Sony ZV E10, a camera that dominates the vlogging field and has for some time now. And while the EOS R50 is Canon's closest competitor to the Sony ZV E10, the ZV E10 and its many variants easily outsell Canon. And you see, Canon wants to change that with a redesign of not only their APS-C line, but the compact camera segment. And that's what we're seeing with the upcoming Canon PowerShot V1, and of course the EOS RV. And I want to be clear here, the EOS RV isn't meant to match the Sony ZV E10, it's meant to leapfrog the competition. And that's a bold statement, but keep in mind, back in 2020, nobody believed that Canon could possibly leapfrog Sony with the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, but it did. And I know that's a very bold statement, and it might seem like an impossible goal at this point. But I want to take you back to early 2020, when all the rumors about the Canon EOS R5 were going about. Many people just didn't believe it, based on everything that Canon had put out before, such as the EOS R and the RP, and what Sony had been putting out, all these wonderful cameras. There's no way that Canon could have possibly leapfrogged the competition, deliver 8K RAW, 4K up to 120 frames per second, and a ton of other features while delivering a face detect autofocus system and without a crop. But they did. The EOS RV is Canon's attempt to rethink its market penetration strategy into the segment more aggressively, to rethink the camera from the ground up, not just some sort of badging or renaming of the camera to offer a few new features. It's Canon's attempt to leapfrog the competition. That would be my guess. But will Canon price it around the ZV E10 at $798 with a 16 to 50mm, or the ZV-1F for $498? My guess, if Canon really wants to make a bold statement and not just rethink everything about this camera, they also need to rethink the pricing. And what I would expect Canon to do is price this EOS RV at under the price of the ZV E10 Mark II, not just price it around the same price point as the Mark I, and that would put it somewhere under $999. I think at this point in the video, it's pretty obvious, if you've been watching from the very beginning, who this camera's designed at. It's designed at vloggers, content creators, people who own YouTube channels at creating content. In a way, I could probably take that camera myself instead of using the Canon EOS R5 and use the EOS RV. everything about this camera, from the design, from the capabilities that we know about so far, it's purely aimed at that market segment. It's designed to simplify taking photos, but mostly videos. The videos is the strong point of this camera. And there's several things that Sony has done to well, really capture and dominate this marketplace. Simple things such as I move around, well, not in a studio, but if I'm out running and gunning and doing behind the scenes type content and I've got the camera right on me, as the lighting changes, as the exposure changes, what the camera's able to do is to adjust so that way I'm always properly exposed, that I'm in that middle gray section. And to have a camera where you don't have to worry about ISO, you don't have to worry about aperture or shutter or all those other things, well, that's a really big deal. It took me a while to learn the Canon EOS R5 to figure out how to shoot log, how to grade log, how to expose for log, how to expose for people in situations where you've got everything else exposed properly, but they're underexposed because it's focusing on the horizon, it's focusing on the bright sky. And that's where Sony really comes in, is they've come out with all these capabilities where people can just point the camera and shoot. They don't have to worry about shooting in manual. And I think if Canon's cracked that, and simple little things such as the record button on the front, a new design camera body, I think that it sounds like it could do very well for Canon, do very well indeed. And should the Canon EOS RV become a big success, well, then I think Canon could do what Sony's done with the ZV E10 or the ZV line. I think it was the ZV-1 that came out first. And how many ZV cameras do we have out there right now? Ranging all the way down from around $500 up to around $2,200. The range of cameras, there's one for everybody, every price point, including one that I could run using on this channel. Sony's done a great job. They've done a terrific job. I mean, just look at the market penetration. You might not like Sony for whatever reason, but you can't argue with the numbers. And Canon's stopped arguing with the numbers. The R100 hasn't done very well. The R50's done much better, but it's still a camera that's designed with photographers in mind. The EOS RV, well, that's a completely different rethink, a redesign based on video shooters, vloggers. If you're a photographer, you're not going to like this camera. Don't even think about it. But if you're thinking of starting a YouTube channel and you don't want to spend a lot of money, or you're thinking of getting a camera for your child or a friend or brother, sister, significant other, and they like shooting video a lot, travel videos, travel vlogs, well, then I think that the ZV E10, along with the Canon EOS RV, is something you should definitely take a look at. We know very little at this point, but I'm sure we'll know more very, very soon. And I would be surprised if it doesn't get the new larger sensor that the PowerShot V1 is getting. That would be rather exciting. Anyhow, as soon as I find more, I'll let you know. So don't forget to subscribe and follow me, and I'll let you know as soon as... I'm having trouble speaking. I'm sorry. The clock's just changed. I'm recording this on Sunday. I'm having trouble getting my words out. But thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, a great rest. Well, it won't be the weekend for you. A great week, and we'll see you again soon.